Hey guys, just wanted to throw up a quick little VoD review. Uh, Daggerfield is interested in getting into first run and wanted some advice on, what they could do differently, places to improve, places to get faster. Um, so I'm gonna quickly go over some stuff. This should be a fairly quick video, but we'll see how much I ramble. So we're gonna start right away with the Athena room. The Athena room is the room you see in every single first run of a fresh file. Um, the enemies are the same, the rewards are the same, so it's really something you want to practice. So this is, you can kind of tell Daggerfield hasn't practiced this a whole bunch. Isn't really sure exactly where the enemies are going to spawn. The spawn locations are the same every single time. The only thing that can change is the order in which the last two waves spawn. The wave of 3 witches and the wave of 3 witches plus a thug. But you can approach it the same way every time and be pretty fast. Now, Daggerfield doesn't have the in-game timer on, so unfortunately we can't look at that. But let's quickly go ahead and take a look at what a Athena room should look like.
To hell with this place.
So you start with 2 dashes into a cast, and then you get on the side of that thug. See here I got a bad pattern, but it doesn't waste a ton of time. So I knew exactly the order I would have to do things in anyway. And so that was a pretty slow first room, but it was methodical. It ended with me near the door instead of down in the bottom of the screen. You generally want to go in with a plan, and the order in which they spawn and whether you time your inputs right or not can sometimes, affect the overall speed of you going through the room. But if you do everything right and you practice it enough, you can get times as quick as sub 24 in-game time through this picking up the first boon. So let's go back into Daggerfield's video now. Actually, quickly, what I want to do is load into this save, because we're going to talk a little bit about sword mechanics.
You can't hear me all the way where you are, goddess, but thank you.
Where am I going? 159. So here you fight some louts. And you kind of just do this like special dash attack, randomly throwing your cast out here and there.
The underworld's power.
What you really want to be doing when you're using the sword in fresh file is you want to do special, dash attack, turnaround attack. It looks a little like this. So you're just throwing an extra swing in there after the dash strike to fit in a little bit more damage. It's a bit higher APM. It's a little bit more intensive, but if you practice a little bit, you'll see it makes a huge difference, especially on mobs like louts or any big enemy that you want to keep hit stunned and you want to kind of chew through their health quickly. It's also pretty good for large groups of mobs that are all kind of in the same spot. Let's go back into Daggerfield's video and talk about one more piece of sword tech before we move on from the sword tech. So right here, this numbskull room is a bit of a mess. You tried to special there, but you got hit. It's super annoying. It interrupts the animation. The special doesn't actually come out. There it was again. There is a solution to your problem. Quickly pull up the video of my first run, and it's in slow-mo, and we'll talk about how you fix that. So here I have a room of numbskulls. So first off, you definitely want to be trying to special to AoE them as much as you can. But the thing I just did right there, and I'll do it a few more times, is if you special and then press dash, like that, your special will come out at the end of the dash. And that's really useful for getting into the middle of groups of enemies like numbskulls, and getting the damage off quickly without them being able to interrupt the animation. So, again, for comparison, if I slow down your video, where is it? Was it right here? Oh, God, the audio is terrible. Yeah, like right there, you see, like you started the special, which was probably, the right move. It's what you want to do. It'll kill them all instantly. But you got hit, so it canceled the animation. Whereas you can instead special dash through the wall. They have no chance to hit me. They just die before they even know what's coming. And again, just to show that off. So this is like specialing normally. If I get hit at any point in this animation, I'll get knocked out. But if I special dash, I can move into range safely and have the special come out faster. Important tech to know. All right, let's talk a little bit about decision making. So here we're going to about 305. And here's your mid shop. Let me throw the speed back to normal. Turn your sound back on. You buy this Athena boon, which I think is the right play. I think this Athena is worth more to you than this heart right now. The two boons you're looking for most of all here, you're looking for Athena on special or Brilliant Riposte. You want Athena on special because it enables Merciful End later on, as well as adding some safety to your special, which is, as we just talked about, can be a little bit dangerous. And it's actually quite good for kind of AoE deflecting later on in Elysium, which we'll see later on is a bit of an issue. Brilliant Riposte, of course, unlocks Athena Legendary, if I didn't say that. So here you chose attack. Let's look at these selections again. So here you're offered attack, cast, and blinding flash. None of these are the two main boons you're looking for. Divine Strike clearly adds the most to your DPS up front right now. But I would argue that you really want to be taking either the cast or exposed, because of the value of having the empty attack boon slot. Later in the run, you might see Artemis and you might see Ares. Either one of those you're going to want on your attack a lot more than Athena. Athena, sure, it adds a little bit of extra safety, but you already have her dash. If you get Ares on attack, obviously, Merciful End is right around the corner. And that's really probably the strongest build you can get in first run. Is a really fast Ares attack Merciful End. Blinding Flash is just a nice bit of extra damage, and the cast is kind of the same. It's just a nice bit of extra AoE. I would probably take Blinding Flash here personally. Just my gut read on the situation. I know it's not a ton of extra damage, but you're just kind of trying to set yourself up for success later on, right? This is only 3 minutes into the run. If you take Blinding Flash and later on everything you get is a bunch of garbage, well, everything you got later on was a bunch of garbage anyway. You can kind of throw it away. You're trying to maximize your odds of having a good run. And to do that, I think you just take Blinding Flash here, personally. Okay. So let's go to another decision-making point. This is a bit later in the run. Here you're offered an Ares boon. At this point in the run, for anyone who's not familiar with it, we've already got Merciful End with Ares on special. So here, the reason we have this Ares boon at all is we're looking for Impending Doom, I think is what we really want here. We open it up, and it's not there. So then you have to think, okay, what are my options afterward? You end up taking Urge to Kill here. I think Urge to Kill is the worst of these choices. I think there's two main schools of thought as far as which one of these boons you want to take between the cast and Battle Rage. So Urge to Kill obviously only adds like 5 damage to your special and 3 damage to your attack. Whatever, it's not really going to increase, or rather decrease, your time to kill on any given target by that much, right? Maybe over the course of a long boss fight, it'll add a bit more, but in those dangerous Elysium rooms, is Urge to Kill doing that much for you? Not really. Battle Rage, on the other hand, it just lowers your risk, right? So like you kill one mob, and then the next mob that you want to fight dies a little bit faster, has a little less time to do damage to you. So I really like Battle Rage here. The other option here is the cast. If you take the cast, the idea behind taking that is that the cast plus Engulfing Vortex is actually quite good damage while also providing some safety on certain boss fights. It's especially good on the heroes fight, and a little bit on the Hades fight. It's kind of like having, if you manage to get Engulfing Vortex, it's kind of like having an extra dash or like an extra movement ability, since you kind of get to move the enemy away from you. Um, it's useful. I found it to be quite good. The argument against taking Slicing Shot here, and the reason I would go for Battle Rage, is you don't have any Blade Rift effects right now. So Engulfing Vortex and Black Metal are not in your Ares Boon pool. You can't see them. If you take Slicing Shot, they're in there. You're looking for Impending Doom. Your odds of seeing Impending Doom go down, right? Because the pool of boons you could pick from has increased. So for me, the pick here is Battle Rage.
Violence.
Let's go ahead and talk about another decision real quick. Right here. So we're Merciful End build. We see money. We have 121 obols, and we see a palm. We have no palm in our special. I think palm here is the clear and easy choice. You get a palm in the special, you're going to get an extra like 40 doom damage added on. It's huge. I think you just take the palm. You probably are going to make enough money to buy a boon if you want anyway, and even if you don't, you'll make enough money to maybe buy a heart or whatever else. The palm is just good here. Palm is just great. And you take the palm. Sorry if you guys heard a Discord notification. I think someone probably just messaged me. I don't think I have it muted, I'm not sure. So you take the palm. That was a good choice. I don't want to only highlight the bad choices, I also want to reinforce the good decisions you made, and that was a good one. Skip to the end of this room real quick, and once again, another point, reinforce good decisions. You're offered the shop here versus free Athena. I think the Athena here is the right play. You can get Brilliant Riposte, which enables the legendary. You have 70 health, which is more than enough to deal with Lerny, so you don't really need to go to the shop to buy health or a Centaur Heart. You have 125 max HP already, so definitely good to take this Athena here. And it pays off. You end up getting Brilliant Riposte. It's great. You pick it. Correct play. Let's talk a little bit about the Lerny fight. So you take a little bit too much damage in this fight.
Oh, great.
Obviously, using some of those sword mechanics we talked about earlier in the video will help a lot here, just for getting through the phase a bit quicker. But you also want to be careful about some of these stray missiles you end up taking. Specifically these right here. You start, you just like kind of dash up in the way you're just trying to escape them. You have dash deflect. If we cut back here, you can just dash down into this projectile and fling it away. And that also would probably make this one go into the pillar. So just, being mindful of your dashes. It's pretty important. Here, you take a very dangerous strategy for avoiding these missiles that I just want to talk about real quick. So you can choose two ways to deal with the missile phase. You can either continue to DPS through it and try and stay behind Lerny so the missiles don't hit you, which is a play that I often make. It saves some time, but it's a little bit more dangerous. Or you can hide behind these pillars, and all of the shots will go either into the pillar or around and miss you. But you definitely want to do one of those two. What you don't want to do, which you do right here, is kind of just like walk around trying to dodge them and try and deflect some. It's not worth it. You can sit behind this pillar. At the start of the missile stream, they'll all kind of come into the pillar and they'll slowly widen until they start going around, but they won't actually hit you. And once they widen to the point where they're not hitting the front of the pillar anymore, you can dash straight through it and start DPSing Lerny while the missile phase is still ongoing. If I remember right, it comes back to bite you a little later on here. Right here. You end up eating a whole bunch of missiles, taking a ton of free damage. So definitely just pick one. Either stay in or hide behind a pillar. There, obviously, you got to be a little bit more careful about the stomping heads, but they can catch you sometimes. You know, we're not going to nitpick everything. Usually you can get some free damage here during this part. If we skip ahead in my video real quick, pull it up. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the spot. I don't think I wrote this down. Here we go. It's in slow-mo. I'm just going to leave it. So you'll see Lerny comes out of the phase. I get a little while to do free damage while Lerny kind of screams. And then you can just get out. Just, you know, every little thing to save some time helps. You do a good job, at least, of avoiding the stomps, which it can definitely be tempting to be a little greedy and get in there early, and you end up taking 16 damage, which is brutal in first run. So you did a good job of avoiding that. Here you actually make a really great decision that I just want to highlight. You open this well, you see Eye of Lamia and Yarn of Ariadne. You have 44 HP. Absolutely buy them both. The Eye, it's clear, it's healing, you want it. But the Yarn, some people might not know. I'm sure you probably knew this when you bought it, but in case you didn't, it does increase the odds of seeing a legendary. So the fact that you have Brilliant Riposte, you just picked it up, buying the Yarn, so the next Athena you see could give you the legendary is great. Great idea. I love it. It's a good purchase. I think this is the correct shop.
Just what I need. Onward then. In the bag.
Right. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about some decision making here in Elysium just to wrap up the video. So here you're offered the mid shop and money. I don't think you really ever want to skip an Elysium mid shop unless it's for a mini boss with a really good boon. And even that, it can be questionable. Elysium is such a dangerous biome. You really want to take every free room you can get, and in first run, that's only the mid shop. Once you skip this shop, you're not going to see the mid shop again. So you definitely wanted to go mid shop here. The other thing is you have 79 health. You have enough money to buy healing. If you go in there and see healing, I think you buy it. So it's yet another reason to go here. Money is just not doing a whole lot for you. If you buy this money, or if you take this money, the best that's going to happen off of that is that you manage to be able to buy, you know, like a boon and a centaur heart at the end of the biome, which, you know, is good, but I don't think it's worth skipping a free room, especially because, you know, the damage you can take in these Elysium rooms, that centaur heart, you might lose a centaur heart's worth of health just in this room because of how dangerous they can be. let's skip past that room real quick.
Right there.
Here you're offered Artemis on a non-mini boss versus a mini boss Athena. So for people who don't know, you can be offered 2 mini bosses in Elysium, and they are predetermined. So like if this room, let's say this room, this Athena, hypothetically, were Asterius, then the next mini boss you see would definitely be Butterfly Ball. It does work that way. So you can only see 2. Once you've seen both of them offered to you and you don't take them, they're gone forever. And mini boss rooms tend to be a little bit faster in Elysium, especially when you're already Merciful End. All of that being said, I think the Athena is a great pickup here. You have the Yarn, you're ready to get the Legendary. Artemis isn't really doing a whole lot for you. Pressure Points is like fine, Support Fire is like fine. But I think the mini boss room here is great, and you do take it, which is good. You kind of waffle a little bit, but you do end up taking it. This Butterfly Ball fight, you let a few of these souls resurrect, but not too bad. I think for the most part, this is totally fine. Let's get to the end of the room real quick.
I'll keep my soul for now, thanks.
So unfortunately, even with the Yarn, you didn't find the Legendary. It's a bummer. Let's see, what did you end up taking here? Probably Bronze Skin. I think I actually take Sure-Footing there most of the time. Bronze Skin's okay. Sure-Footing is just really nice to have for sticks. Mainly for the Hades fight. It does reduce the damage of the pots that Hades summons in Phase 2. So, something to keep in mind. But Bronze Skin, or whatever it's called, the 10% damage reduction is a fine choice as well.
Chariots.
Let's talk about these chariots real quick. So chariots are super dangerous in first run. They do 19 damage, their animations are hard to read, they can double hit you. It's generally not a good time. Using some of those sword techniques I talked about at the beginning of the video will help a lot with dealing with them. Particularly special plus dash helps you kind of get into positions where your special, the edge of your special hits them, but you're not really in harm's way.
No.
Here you end up kind of, you have to take them really slowly and you take a bunch of damage. It's just not great. Last thing we're going to talk about on this video, we're just going to talk really quickly about witches and splitters in Elysium in particular. Generally speaking, your best bet for killing them safely and quickly is just waiting for them to shoot and then deflecting. If you try and get cute and try and DPS them yourself, especially the armored ones that don't get hit stunned, you're most likely to just cause yourself a headache. So if I kind of play this in slow-mo. Right there, the attack came out. That would have been a good time to dash and deflect. Those 3 balls hitting that witch would have instantly killed it. But instead, you're trying to work your own DPS in. So what you end up doing instead is you special to proc Doom because you want to go for Merciful End, and your special pops the balls, and then a bunch of those balls hit you and deal a ton of damage, and your deflect does like almost nothing. Sorry, the audio gets really warbly in slow-mo. So let's go back to normal speed. It kind of, here, I mean, it was a bit unfortunate that we're off the screen. You just got to be careful of that. You really want to try and just deflect these balls. You'll see, I think on this witch, here, yeah, so you get the deflect, all 3 of them deflect, the witch is instantly dead. You were never in any danger. Not that complicated. I think it's just the best way to handle them. The other issue you can run into if you dash strike toward one of these is the tip of your sword kind of pops the balls as they come out, and then all the projectiles kind of shotgun you in the face, dealing a ton of damage. Right there, you got the deflect again, which is good. I think that's where we're going to wrap up. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully everything I wanted to get across, I kind of got across. I'm not very good at this kind of pre-recorded talking to myself format. I didn't write a script or anything. I just wrote myself some timestamps. But let me know if you have any feedback or want to see more of this type of thing, or Daggerfield specifically, if you want me to elaborate on one of the points from this video. Just let me know. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.